Got medals on my chest and I ain't afraid to show it, show it, show it, show it. Stolen and I know it.
Hey folks, and welcome to the Salty Seaman. As a lot of you know, probably, and not probably, but definitely by far, the biggest video I've ever done on this channel is tips for spotting stolen valor. I made it about a year ago. You know, in tips of just, I'd never seen a video that kind of went over all the spectrums of what is considered stolen valor. I thought it'd be an interesting thing to do, and you know, luckily it worked out for me very well. Now, at the time, I thought I'd had to say everything I had to say about it. I think I kind of succinctly summed up a lot of it. And I've touched on it on other videos, of course, but at the same time, you know, I've just had kind of a, you know, from my comments on that video, which continue to pour in day by day for over, you know, well over a year, you know, I see some disturbing things going on. And I think I need to address a little bit on some points I did make in the video, but, you know, I really didn't concentrate on because I was trying to build a overall picture. So here's some things I'm just been kind of seeing that's really kind of disturbing me on, you know, approaching, you know, consider stolen valor. And maybe we've just kind of gone overboard on this. Now, you might be asking, you know, hey, people want to defend their uniforms. People, you know, they want to make sure if anyone's claiming to be something, they're legit. Totally get that. On the other hand, there's people who say, like, people want to play dress up and pretend to be a soldier man. That's their business. You guys are too, you know, overly defensive snowflakes about your fucking uniforms, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's your opinion. You're welcome to it. But yeah, it does disturb us, and you know, when we feel have the right on our side in that situation, we're going to defend it. And definitely, especially when it comes to defrauding people by claiming you're something you're not. That is still a lie, and that is still illegal. Taking goods and services for misrepresentation. So always keep that in mind when we talk about free speech and the right to do whatever you want. You know, as long as, you know, there's that first issue I get into. You know, homeless guy never served in his life, you know, hanging outside somewhere, shaking a tin cup.
You're not a veteran? Yes, I am. No, you're a piece of shit is what you are. Show me your veteran's ID card. Show me your veteran's ID card.
You know, is going up to them and yelling at them and asking who their first sergeant was and, you know, 1986, you know, and start chasing them and yelling and screaming at these people, you know, really what we're worried about when it comes to stolen valor? No. I think you have to pick and choose your battles. A dude shaking a tin cup should not be somebody you're, you know, viscerally going after, and people in terms of people using this. You know, at some point you got to just let shit go. It's not always worth your time or trouble, and you really come off looking like an asshole. We're talking about, you know, somebody borrowing their brother's uniform to go get a discount at McDonald's. You know, someone confronts him about that outside. Yes, absolutely. You know, teach the little bastard a lesson. Say, hey, this is not cool. We're not cool with this. Go back in, pay back, apologize. You know, those kind of confrontations, you know, I mean, I don't see why. Those are things that can happen. But when you get to, you see someone wearing piece of memorabilia for the military, and this is where I'm seeing a lot of this. It's really disturbing me. There's a lot of reports of guys who are actually active duty military or veterans who get accosted in a Walmart or something, usually by people of very junior standards. We're talking like straight boots. You know, people who are very obviously straight out of boot camp, or, you know, maybe have only spent, you know, minimal time in the service, going up to people and accosting them when they see them in military gear and start grilling them about, you know, their service and specifics. And, you know, they're very obviously looking for a lie. Sometimes they come up and they just start immediately accosting them, as assuming they're stealing valor, you know, because they can't produce a veteran's card, which not everyone has, or even retired people for their military ID, which they don't have to show you, and they might even be carrying it because there's, you know, when you're retired, 99% of the time you don't need to have that ID for any reason. I carry mine, but I can see like someone who, you know, has one of those cards, they don't have it on them, and, you know, you start asking them for, you know, very specifics from 1986. You know, maybe they don't immediately doesn't immediately come off the top of their head. You know, this is behavior of, it's a hostile, and you're looking to be the hero. You put the uniform on, you're feeling very proud of your service, and you're feeling very strongly about your new tribe, and you don't want anybody disrespecting them. So you're out there looking for someone to disprove their military service on. And a lot of times there's a lot of people who legit did what they said they did, or wearing what is absolutely appropriate for them to wear, getting accosted by these people just so zealous on this topic. And the Navy side, I can definitely point you to Don Shipley. He's, of course, one of the most famous debunkers of false military. Concentrates very specifically on phony Navy SEALs, but watch how he's approaching it. He is very meticulous. He does have the bonus of he has access to the SEAL database, so he absolutely knows for sure, but he does his research. He makes sure every time he does this kind of thing, he's going out of his way to make sure he is not falsely accusing a SEAL brother of being a fake SEAL. Now compare that to you in the mall yelling at a dude with a Marine Corps hat on, and just basically accosting him, yelling at someone who, maybe is, maybe isn't, but you're accosting a guy who actually is a Marine, deserves to wear whatever hat he's worn. This should kind of tell you that's being a jackass, and it should be very if you're going to approach this thing, as I did try to explain in the video, you do need to be more subtle. You need to make sure you know what you're talking about. There's a very way to approach it in a very casual conversation. Start talking to someone who's proudly displaying any kind of military memorabilia. They should be willing to talk to you about it because they're wearing it. You can go up and have a casual conversation and don't have to immediately jump into, Stolen Valor. San Diego wasn't like that in 1985. You're wrong. There's if you want to approach this and you're feeling someone's out there doing this kind of shit, you got to approach it more on a even keel. Really get your information straight. Maybe even go on a quick side, kind of do a Google to make sure you know what you're talking about. Just accosting people in residencies who are wearing military memorabilia, or worse, somebody that's homeless out there panhandling for change. There's a line, and you really need to know where you need to stay on the reasonable and rational side of this. Because I'm really, it's not just on my channels, it's like other military outlets I see when the topic comes up. There's always these stories of these things happening to guys who are like, I honestly served, and I got accosted by some guy straight out of training school, for my whatever t-shirt he was wearing, and he got grilled to the 20th degree, and it just, a lot of them laugh it off and feel silly. Some are insulted. Hey, what is the military pushing through these days? Are all these vets completely crazy and just like start attacking people for just the slightest hint that they're being disrespected of their service? You got to knock it the fuck off. If you're feeling that strongly, you need to approach it cautiously and logically, and as subtly as possible. Try to ferret out these situations that maybe truly someone's defrauding somebody. Especially like on a higher level, somebody who's getting job promotions or getting media appearances. The people are really like, just being a con artist, which, con artists exist in every kind of field. And of course, the military is a place where we abuse it. I will say now, thanks to the internet, it's so much easier to debunk this stuff. Me coming up, it was always, there was no way to prove or disprove it one or the other. There wasn't a way to shame people, let people know like, hey, this guy's full of shit. You need to avoid this guy here. We didn't have that back then. Now we do have this, but unfortunately we also have a tendency to get overzealous about it. So basically, I just want to say, for those out here who, are very supportive of trying to keep stolen valor a thing of the past, your methods sometimes need to be kept in check. This can be a very delicate situation, and if you end up accusing someone who basically is in the right, you make yourself look bad, you make them feel bad, and you make everyone else look bad, and in the terms of like accosting homeless, crazy people, I let it go. Some things in life aren't worth the battle, and sometimes you got to think of it that way. Anyway, that's all the Salty Seaman has for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it, had a good listen. Coming up probably next, I'm going to finish my review of the final countdown, and I have a few other ideas in the bin. Any movies you want to see me review, any topics, I actually have a big thing on 7th Fleet, another follow-up. Anything else you'd like to hear about, let me know in the comments. If you are a subscriber and you want to see these videos more often, you know, we got to fight the YouTube algorithms. You need to ring that bell to become part of the notification squad. If you're new to the channel and you like it, hey, please subscribe, give me a chance, do a lot of fun stuff here. All the Salty Seaman's got for now. Peace, bitches.